Hey y'all, my name is Bryan Reeves, Bryan with a Y, Reeves. I am your relationship insight ninja, mountain biking all over Southern California. There's my bike. What I'm really excited to tell you about, to talk about right now, is the importance of honoring your boundaries in relationship. I can't tell you how many messages I get every single day from people who are clearly struggling with boundary issues. Now, I frame this as requests versus requirements. In other words, what is a requirement for you in relationship versus what is a request? A request is a nice to have, but it doesn't necessarily have to be happening. A requirement is this is how we're going to do relationship. This is the boundary within which I feel safe and comfortable and enthusiastic about doing relationship. A requirement might be no name calling. But you'd be surprised how many people do not make that clear that no name calling is a requirement. You know, here's what's interesting about this is when you don't honor your requirements, your boundaries, you open the relationship up to abuse. Abuse from your partner, but also self-abuse. Abusing yourself, not telling the truth about what you're experiencing, about what's okay, pretending that your requirement is just a request. Right? And when you don't honor your boundary, when you let these boundary violations continue to occur over and over and over, and it could be, again, it's not just a physical boundary violation like physical abuse, but all kinds of other abuse of a boundary, like criticism, being told what to do, being held in contempt, your partner calling you names or calling you, acting like, using language to suggest that you're stupid or incompetent or ugly or unattractive or unlovable. All of that, those are all boundary violations. What I want you to really get from this is that if you don't honor your own boundaries, you give your partner no reason to honor them either. And it's not just because they're an unkind person. This has nothing to do with that. We're all carrying our own wounds, our own unskillfulness, our own confusion, our own fears into relationship. And when we're hurt, we lash out and hurt others. Only hurt people hurt people. So if you're with someone who is hurting you, it's not because they're a bad person. That doesn't even have to be part of the conversation. The invitation here, the opportunity here is simply for you to honor your own boundaries. And this is an act of profound self-love, right? Learning to recognize that who you are is valid. What you want to experience is absolutely valid. You deserve to be loved in the way that you want to be loved. And we're all on this journey together. I mean, we all have our work to do. But this is some of the most important work you will ever do, that intimate relationship inspires you to do, is to really claim and honor your boundaries. Again, you are never going to have the relationship you really yearn for until you are willing to stand for your boundaries. And that requires courage, because it means being willing to let someone go who isn't willing to honor your boundaries, or who just isn't willing to even learn how. Right? We all step over the line sometimes. Even with the best of intentions, we are going to trip over each other's boundaries. I do it in my relationship all the time, never intentionally. But I'm always in the dance of learning how to love my girlfriend by how to honor her boundaries and even support her in expanding her own heart, opening up her own heart. But I can only do that in so much as I'm opening up my own heart, and that really means learning to love her and her boundaries. Does it always make me comfortable? Hell no. Sometimes it's the hardest work I do, learning how to love my girlfriend and honor her boundaries. But I have boundaries too, so it's also an act of self-love for me to honor my own boundaries. And from there, then we can make some real magic in relationship. But up until that point, if you can't honor your own boundaries, you just open yourself up to abuse. Abuse from your partner and abuse of yourself. You're abusing yourself by not honoring your boundaries. Now, I know that probably just opens up a lot more questions than necessarily answers, and that's okay. My name is Bryan with a Y, Reeves. Leave a comment if you have a question, if this brings up more questions, if this have an insight or share your experience. leave a comment under this video, and especially share this with someone that you know is struggling with boundaries in their relationship. This is so important. I love you. Have fun out there. Peace.